Welcome to the channel of NZ Justice 111. This is episode 12 in the series, The Names of Who Corrupt New Zealand and What They Don't Want You to Know. In this episode, this channel will begin to expose the endless lies and deception used against Lisa and Rose in a 2013 High Court trial. This video will also begin to expose the shocking miscarriage of justice that was committed against Lisa and Rose by way of a judgment handed down by High Court Judge John Presley. And last but by no means least, this channel will be also exposing in this video proof that a government office called the Independent Police Conduct Authority is a hoax being played on the general public of New Zealand. Without further delay, here we go. On the 20th of May 2013, the High Court trial began. Lisa and Rose had to face this trial without any help from a lawyer, as they could not afford one, and legal aid had turned them down as the matter involved a trust. They had no files, as Rod Hooker of Valiant Hooker had refused to release them until he was paid in excess of $44,000, as you saw in the last episode. Lisa and Rose had hardly any of the trust bank statements due to the perjury committed against them by Bank of New Zealand lawyers, as you also saw in the last episode. Even worse still, Lisa and Rose turned up at the trial having to face Senior Sergeant and Christopher Lynch being represented by not only Barrister Peter Wright of Shortland Chambers, Auckland, but more shockingly Barrister Greg Stringer, law firm partner of Lynch Papakura. This is the same law firm that Lisa and Rose and Lisa's family trust were former clients of, with Christopher Lynch, another law firm partner of Lynch Papakura, being the former professional trustee for Lisa's trust. This channel wishes to give our viewers the following information. Law firms acting against their former clients in court is largely seen within the legal community as highly unacceptable and prejudicial. If you are ever faced with this situation in court, you can file an application asking a judge to ban your former law firm from acting against you. A judge, if they are honest and fair, will grant your application. This is because your former law firm has full access to all confidential documents and privileged information about your legal affairs, which gives them an unjust and unfair advantage in court. Lisa and Rose, being legally inexperienced, had no idea they could ask a judge to ban anyone working for their former law firm from acting against them. Faced with overwhelming odds stacked against Lisa and Rose, let's now look at the alleged loans claimed in court by Senior Sergeant and Christopher Lynch to be owed to Senior Sergeant by Lisa's trust. This claim of alleged loans was and is entirely fraudulent. Let's now look at this first alleged loan. The $20,000 was indeed loaned to the trust by Senior Sergeant in February of 2005. However, the $20,000 had been repaid back to Senior Sergeant on the 10th of October 2005 as proven in episode 3. Because Lisa and Rose had some of the Trust's and Senior Sergeant's bank statements, they could prove to Judge Presley that the $20,000 had already been repaid to Senior Sergeant. This should have been the end of the matter regarding the $20,000. However, Senior Sergeant had other ideas. What you're about to see is perjury at its best. Senior Sergeant, on oath, claimed to Judge Presley that Lisa had deposited his $20,000 loan repayment into his bank accounts without him even knowing, and then used her trust internet banking facility that his accounts were attached to spend the $20,000 without his knowledge, all on living expenses for the family. Senior Sergeant, to support his evidence against Lisa, also showed Judge John Presley a copy of an email that he had sent Christopher Lynch on the 21st of December 2005 to inform him what Lisa had done. Using Senior Sergeant's evidence, Judge Presley recorded the following in his judgment. On the 10th of October 2005, Lisa made 2 internet deposits of $2,000 and $18,000 into Senior Sergeant's ready money account. The monies were not paid into Senior Sergeant's bank loan account. Nor did Lisa inform Senior Sergeant she had made the $20,000 deposit. Instead, Senior Sergeant's ready money account was used to pay a variety of bills, all by way of internet banking. Senior Sergeant's evidence is confirmed in large measure by his email dated 21st December 2005 to Mr. Lynch. Either this judge is lazy, or incompetent, or corrupt, or all of the above, because what High Court Judge John Presley recorded in his judgment is absolutely false. To prove this, we need to leave the 2013 High Court trial for the moment and fast forward to 2015 when Lisa and Rose sent a complaint against Senior Sergeant to the government office called the Independent Police Conduct Authority, or IPCA for short, asking them to make Senior Sergeant accountable for his perjury that he had committed throughout the 2013 High Court trial. The IPCA claim that, but not limited to, they are completely separate to the New Zealand Police. As proof of this, here is a screen recording of what the IPCA publish on their website. We are the only New Zealand Police oversight body. We are not part of the New Zealand Police. Under law, we are fully independent. If you have a complaint about the New Zealand Police, you can come to us. Do not believe a word of it. When a complaint has been filed by a member of the public against a police officer, the IPCA very often will give that complaint to the New Zealand Police to deal with. Put simply, a government department is unlawfully allowing the New Zealand Police to determine complaints filed against their own members, and here is the proof. After Lisa and Rose sent their complaint against Senior Sergeant to the IPCA, it was handed over to Police Officer Inspector Tracy Phillips to deal with. This complaint was accompanied by, but not limited to, bank statements belonging to Senior Sergeant's accounts that had received the $20,000 loan repayment from Lisa's trust. After reviewing this evidence, Inspector Phillips, via email on the 28th of August 2015 and using Senior Sergeant's first name, agreed with Lisa and Rose that he knew the money, his loan repayment, was in his accounts. However, Inspector Phillips threw out Lisa's and Rose's IPCA complaint by using the absurd excuse that there was no proof Senior Sergeant knew the $20,000 that had come from Lisa's trust was his loan repayment. Put simply, Inspector Phillips unlawfully saved a fellow police officer, Senior Sergeant, from facing a perjury charge after he had lied on oath to Judge Presley that he had no idea his loan repayment had been made when clearly his bank statements proved otherwise. Lisa and Rose did find the evidence to prove Senior Sergeant knew the $20,000 loan repayment had been deposited into his accounts. This evidence was Senior Sergeant's 21st of December 2005 email to Christopher Lynch. If you have watched episode 3 in the series, you would have already seen this email, which was sent behind Lisa's back by Senior Sergeant, and is littered with false claims about Lisa and an alleged joint account the money was deposited into. However, the email has backfired on Senior Sergeant because it confirms two important facts. One, Senior Sergeant knew the $20,000 had been deposited, and two, he regarded this deposit as his loan repayment. Shockingly, this is the same email Judge Presley referred to in his judgment that supported Senior Sergeant's evidence that he did not know the $20,000 had been deposited, when clearly the email records Senior Sergeant informing Lynch that Lisa had made the $20,000 deposit. When police were given a copy of this email, which provided the proof Inspector Phillips had alleged Lisa and Rose did not have, their IPCA complaint was thrown out yet again. What you are about to see is the criminal collusion that goes on within the New Zealand Police Force. On the 29th of June 2018, Detective Superintendent Ian Chapman, supported by Superintendent Anna Jackson, got rid of Lisa's and Rose's IPCA complaint by using, but not limited to, the groundless excuse that Judge Presley had favoured Senior Sergeant's evidence over Lisa and Rose's re the $20,000 loan repayment issue, and it would not be in the public's interest to pursue the matter. This being while Inspectors Chapman and Jackson were fully aware from the evidence Lisa and Rose had provided them that Judge Presley's favour of Senior Sergeant had been criminally obtained by his use of perjury. As said earlier in this video, do not believe a word this government office called the Independent Police Conduct Authority tells you. It is a hoax. IPCA complaints are being handed over to the New Zealand Police, who are then, as proven in this video, criminally assisting other police officers to hide crimes they have committed against members of the public. As for the $20,000 loan Senior Sergeant and Christopher Lynch claimed Lisa's trust owed Senior Sergeant, the New Zealand Police, including the Commissioner of Police, Mike Bush, holds unequivocal evidence that not only proves the $20,000 loan claim was fraudulent, but the entire claim as well. However, the New Zealand Police and its Commissioner are not about to tell the general public that. To end this video, our viewers may be interested to know that Superintendent Anna Jackson is the National Manager of Police Professional Conduct. Miss Jackson is one of the officers that continues to this day to criminally assist not only Senior Sergeant but Barrister Christopher Lynch in concealing their heinous financial crime committed against Lisa and Rose and Lisa's trust. Watch out for episode 13, where this channel will be exposing more names of who corrupt New Zealand and who continue to assist hiding from the general public the lies and deception recorded against Lisa and Rose in Judge John Presley's 2013 judgment. As said in earlier episodes, after seeing how wrong a New Zealand judgment can be, you may never trust another New Zealand judgment again. Until next time, keep safe.